Hello folks, welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me Zug, and today we're going to take another look at the Psyker, because I've been seeing lots of clickbaity videos around saying best Psyker video, and they're just kind of weirdly built, and yeah, lots of misinformation and kind of weird talents. So I'm not going to say this is the best Psyker, but it's dragged my ass through Auric and Damnation, so why not? Actually, we're gonna say it's the best Psyker video in the world. Oh my god, shock reaction video. So let's have a look at the talents. Of course it's got a sail in it because the sail is stupidly broken right now. This is generally what you're going to be using to either try and snipe specials that are further away, or, which a lot of people don't talk about, you're going to be using it for horde clear. Because the staff we're using is the Surge Staff that now only hits 2 targets for a lot of damage. It's not a horde clear weapon. So for horde clearing, you're going to be using a combination of your Force Sword. I'm using the Demios on this one. I have been using the Ilias for a while. But the Demios is slightly better, and I'll explain why in a moment. But for horde clear, you're going to be using your melee weapon and a sail. So when you've got a big old horde coming at you, you just launch everything into them and you'll just watch everything pop and you'll giggle and rub your tummy. So, build-wise, what are we doing? We're taking Soul Stealer to replenish toughness after a warp attack. Quietude to replenish toughness for each 10% of perils quelled. Warp Expenditure, replenish 2.5% toughness for every 10% peril generated. Battle Meditation, 10% chance to quell 10% peril on kill. You know, pretty standard stuff. We're not taking perfect timing anymore because we just can't fit it into the build at the moment. We are taking a sail, obviously, as I was just talking about it. We are taking basically enhanced to sail because they pierce now. We're not bothering with the quick shards because it says 30% faster, but 30% of pretty quick doesn't really add up to wasting a point on it. So I would stay away from that. You don't need it. Toughness damage reduction, mind in motion, your movement speed is not reduced while quelling. You will be quelling a lot. Inspiring presence. We're going to grab prescience for the increased crit. We are trying to stack a bit of crit on this build for increased damage. Empathic evasion, crits count as dodging range attacks. So this will just help you keep, this will just passively help you keep you alive. Range damage boost. And we're taking telekinetic shield. This is one of the most underrated abilities that the Psyker has got. I say underrated, a lot more people are using it now. We're not taking the dome version because we want this. The shield has a 10% chance to stun enemies that pass through it. Specialist enemies have a 100% chance to get stunned, but also damage the shield. This we will be dropping down in front of hounds, mutants, flamethrowers, plague bursters, anything that's a special, and it's a hard counter to them. So this isn't just for helping your group move forward during heavy gunner fights, which it is also for, but this is a hard counter to charges and everything. And it's hilarious watching them run into it and get stunned. We're also picking up 2 charges of it because why not? A lot of people with the best build guides are saying take Venting Shriek. Now, Venting Shriek is very, very, very good. And if you are a newer player who has not gotten used to playing the Psyker, Venting Shriek is exactly what you want to take. Because you are not used to the peril system. You're not used to the fact that you can actually push it to 100 and sit there and then quell back. But if you don't know the timings of it, you can push it to 100 and then go full demon mode and explode. So until you are used to the timings, yes, Venting Shriek's a very good skill to take. But once you're used to it, I would heavily suggest taking telekinetic shield, sorry. And then we're going down here, grabbing peril regeneration, minus 5% peril generation. We don't actually care about this health boost, but what we want is Warp Rider. We do want the crit and kinetic deflection. This is another very underrated ability. Because when you are being focused by, say, a Rager or a Chaos Spawn, whatever, this is going to allow you to almost continuously block without taking damage. If your perils are low enough, you can pretty much infinitely block and not take damage. It will eventually break. So this isn't a one hit, oh my god, I'm now immortal. You will eventually stack up so much peril that you start taking stamina damage on blocking, and then your block will break. But this gives you an exceedingly large amount of survivability. Now, we are still taking Warp Siphon. And we're taking this not because it boosts the shield, but because of Warp Battery. And increase all base damage by 4% for each warp charge. We are taking 6 charges, so there's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24% base damage almost at all times, which you will dump as soon as you lay a shield down, but you will get those back up pretty quickly. So you're basically running around with 24% extra damage on everything you do. That is melee attacks, psychic attacks, assail. This build has been tweaked and changed, and I've talked to a lot of other people in the Psyker community who have been playing with these builds, and apart from a slight amount of disagreement over Seer's Presence or Prescience, that is mostly what we disagree on at the moment, this is pretty much the way to build it. So this is it. Honestly, I would say it's, oh my god, big reaction, the best Psyker build ever. Well, ever, for now. Until the cell gets nerfed, which it probably will, because it is ludicrous how good it is. Yeah, this is how I highly suggest you build your Psyker. And as I said, with the Venting Shriek, if this is the first time you're playing a Psyker, possibly take it, try it out, get used to it. Or if you want to jump straight in, learn how to play the telekinetic shield and just figure out the perils. It doesn't take very long. It's a bit weird to start with, but once you have the ebb and flow, you're pretty much good to go with the whole thing. And this is a very nice combination of defensive and offensive. You'll generally be popping hard targets with your Surge Staff without any problem. And just so nobody gets upset that I haven't shown you my perks and blessings, this is how I build my Surge Staff. Unyielding for boss and Ogryn damage, flak armor for mostly specialist, and the heavier targets like Maulers, Ragers, and so on. I always go with Warp Nexus, gain between 5 and 20% critical strike chance based on your current perils, because in this build you will be riding your perils extremely close to the knuckle. You will be between 80 to 90% most of the time during high combat. And Warp Flurry, charge time on secondary attacks stacks 3 times. So you can charge up your secondary attack, which is holding the lightning down and unleashing the heavy bolt. And this will just make it faster. And as for the melee weapon, the Demios is considered a more single target sword, but the light attacks have very wide cleaves on them. So this is why I prefer it to the Ilios, because even on light attacking, you are cleaving quite heavily to deal with the Poxwalker hordes. Which is why I've got flak armor and unarmored. Flak armor is for the charged special attack when you're trying to one-shot a Mauler or a Rager. Unarmored is just light attack cleaving through a horde, and as you can see, the blessings are Slaughterer and Uncanny Strikes. This is just going to buff your power levels on your melee to ludicrous standards, and you should be able to deal with things quite easily. Yes, there are going to be situations where you have a few Ragers on you and you're just not going to be able to do anything. That is just the part and parcel of the game. When that happens, just block and dodge backwards. That's all you can do. And hopefully dodge into your team and let them help you. But yeah, this is in response to a lot of the clickbaity videos giving out very poor information on how to build the Psyker. At the moment, this is one of the top performing builds, if not the top performing. The only difference is Prescience or Seer's Presence, depending on the cooldown. The shield has an incredibly short cooldown. I would always take crit over that. So there you have it, folks. Possibly the best Psyker build. And my response to clickbaity videos. So I hope you like it, and I hope you have as much success with it as I have. And if you do, let me know. Comment down below. And if you'd make any changes to the build, also let me know. I'm always happy to get feedback on the builds. And if there is a glaring mistake that I've overlooked, which is possible, I'm not infallible as much as I like to think I am, you know, please do let me know. And if you've enjoyed the content of the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications, because it does help us out. And if you feel kind enough, go over to the members area and sign up for that as well. It helps us keep the lights. It helps us keep the lights on, and it pays for our stone broth that sustains us. So until next time, folks, take it easy, and I'll see you later.